Hello, fellow wanderers. Today we are making my graduation dress. Very exciting, and a significantly smaller project than my last sewing project. I don't want to start making episodes again because that was stressful, but this is kind of the unofficial first episode of me making my entire summer wardrobe. I don't love my current summer wardrobe, but that's kind of irrelevant. I'm trying to be lower waist, and so over time I'm gonna start making summer outfits for myself. But we're gonna start with this dress. It looks like this. I bought this brown, it's a poly, something. I think it's a cotton poly mixture. Cotton poly? Yeah, cotton polyester, which is not my favorite blend. I do prefer just plain old cotton. I like naturals. I really dislike polyester because it makes you sweat. But this is likely going to turn into more of a wintry dress, even though my graduation is in May, and I'm gonna be too hot, but that's okay. It's this really nice brown color. It's a super nice brown, and then I'm going to do the edging in this bright white so I can have some nice contrast. Today was a senior skip day at school, senior ditch day, and I still went. So that means that I took a really great nap in my physics class. My English class, I did arts and crafts, aka printing out and then cutting out my pattern pieces for this. And here's a picture of me on the floor of my teacher's classroom. I was the only one there. It was great. And then in math, we did normal math things. So, woo! But let's get started. In true me fashion, it's a disaster again. That is supposed to be Timothée Chalamet, because we are throwing a Timothée Chalamet themed birthday party for my best friend tomorrow. So this is gonna be up in my kitchen. I'm entertained. Anyway, so it's kind of a mess. So let's clean this up real quick and then I can start on the actual project. I did kind of promise myself that I wasn't going to start a new project, especially a project I was gonna film, until I finished editing the corset video. I'm tired of that, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of So I'm taking a break and doing this instead. Fast projects only. I'm only doing things that are gonna take me at most like 3 days, because I can't do another big long-term project that hangs over me again for at least a little while. But yeah. Like I said, I've already cut it out. I've already cut the pattern pieces out, which I bought on Etsy. I'll put the link for the Etsy store in the description. It made sense. I mean, putting it together, I wish I would have filmed it, but I feel like it would have been a little awkward to ask my English teacher, be like, hey, mind if I just like set up my tripod and camera and just film your classroom for 47 minutes? Thanks. So I did not, but I did take a picture of it once I finished putting all of the papers where they're meant to go. It definitely took more brain cells than I was hoping to use, but it made total sense. It wasn't difficult at all. I'm just procrastinating now. Let's go. dress in the long run. I like it a lot. I sewed it together. There are some weird little bumps that are happening, and I think if I took out a little bit of fabric, they would go away. And so I'm going to put this back on, but actually that fully just might be my safety shorts I'm wearing right now. Okay, the bumps did seem to be in part because of the shorts I'm wearing. I don't know if you can see it, but there's kind of like some just extra fabric that's happening that I don't love the look of. So I'm going to put this dress back on, but inside out, and then pin it and then sew again. So I made my alterations. There is still a little bit of a hip bump, but I just don't, I feel like taking out more fabric isn't gonna do that much. I also trimmed my seams, so they're a lot smaller, which I think helped with it sitting better. It's currently around 5 o'clock at night. I started this project at 4 o'clock. Well, okay, I started filming and setting up and everything at like 3:30, but like I actually started at probably 4. To be fair, I did cut out things beforehand, and that took about an hour, so, you know, I expedited. But the actual sewing process has been very easy so far. Now, I just add my bias tape and I'm done. It's a pull-on dress, there's no zippers or anything. It looks a lot more bell-shaped on her than it does on me, which I don't love. I don't think you can see the bottom of my skirt. I love the length of it. I think I'm gonna be able to wear this dress a lot. It is hot though. I put the bias tape on the bottom and it's gross. So I'm gonna seam rip the whole thing and do it again. I did the top already and it looks great. Backlit, but I like the framing on this, so that's what you're gonna get. The silhouette is all I really care about anyways. So it is currently like 6:13 last time I checked, which was about a minute ago. So it's probably 6:14, whatever. I started at 4, it's 6:15. 2 hours 15 plus an additional hour, we'll call it, for cutting things out and all of that nonsense. It was probably more like 45 minutes. So let's just call it an even 3 hours, which is what the video promised me, so I am a big fan. I am a little obsessed with this dress. The neckline is super pretty. I have absolutely no issue, like I am super sensitive to things touching my armpits, and that's not an issue at all. I did make the straps a little too tight, so if I slouch, there's a little bit of tension on the back, but if I stand up straight, it's no problem, so it'll just keep me like standing up nice. The bottom is super cute. I'm so glad that I went through and fixed the bottom because it was super messy the first time I did it, and I think it looks way better now. I don't really have anything else to say. It's super, super comfortable. Kind of feel like I'm wearing pajamas. It is thick, and so I'm like decently warm, but not so warm that I'm uncomfortable at all. So I think I'll be okay for graduation day, which is gonna be like 80 something. But yeah, thanks for coming along on this little journey with me. I feel gorgelicious. I'm super comfortable. Would 100% recommend this pattern, especially for newbies. It was super, super easy. It's front piece, back piece, ow that hurt, bias tape. And I will do the math real quick on how much it cost, but I think overall, pretty inexpensive. So let's go to future me who's done the math. Hello again. I did the math. The pattern itself was $10.38, and then the fabric was $18. So that comes to, we're gonna say $30 because everything else, like the bias tape, the thread, came from my stash. So I don't really want to count it. So let's call it $30. Woo. I went on Pinterest, did a quick, I think I looked up sweetheart neckline slinky dress. And the cheapest one I found was $50. I think it was $49. And it was, not what I would call a great dress. It looked super inexpensive, it looked cheap, and it was likely made by very low paid workers in bad conditions. So I was too hot the whole time I was making this, but I could have just turned my aircon on if I so chose. And the most expensive that I found with a quick search, I'm sure I could have found much more expensive ones, was around $300. So I did it at a tenth of the price as probably something a similar quality would have cost me. And I got to custom fit it to myself, and it took me 3 hours. So I'm gonna say, or we can add in, honestly, why don't we add in price for labor? Let's say $20 an hour, because while I'm not a super high skilled worker, I guess, like I'm not doing super delicate embroidery, I also do have skills that made this go a lot faster because I'm skilled at sewing. So $20 an hour, that's $60, 60 plus 30, and $90. I found many, many dresses that look very similar for $90. So yay, I'm calling this a complete success. So yeah, bye.